Hello, YouTube, my nickname is Alfred Hitchcock, the CEO of KlippingDB.com, with our slogan, The Social Newsstand. And I would like to introduce you to our startup, why we built it and all the motivations behind it, what makes us unique, and how it can benefit not only you as magazine or newspaper readers, but also the entire print publishing community, particularly the magazine or newspaper publishers. FYI, we have just launched it since few days ago, since May 1, 2020. So, all fingers crossed. As we can see on this magazine cover, I also included at the bottom, the death of print magazines, and a vaccine against the other kind of epidemic. Why is so? Let's discuss it on the next slide. As all of us know, the year 2020, which according to the Chinese zodiac is the year of the rat. And as odd as it sounds, but hopefully it is just pure coincidence, that this year is actually the year of the coronavirus. Meanwhile, most of us are just fine working from home. Quite many people on this planet are unfortunately experiencing difficulties such as illness, deaths, being unemployed, and so on. And many people share the same mind that the world as we know it might end soon, because the coronavirus has not only infected humanity, but also corporations and their employees. Many companies are facing bankruptcies as well. Long story short, one of these struggling companies is the print media industry such as print magazines and print newspapers. Well, in fact, as noticed by many people, the print publishing industry has gone bad since the last decade, and the downward spiral has actually begun since the invention of the Internet. What really scary is the prediction of many people that this industry will experience slow death before finally game over. But why? I know, most people nowadays don't really buy and read print magazines anymore, as everyone can read news for free online, and if you want fashion news, you can go to Instagram, follow the influencers, or reading blogs of so many fashion bloggers. But what I don't understand, is that the fact many publishers have actually tried to transform themselves from print to digital media. Anna Wintour as world's greatest fashion icon must have executed survival plans for Vogue, as Vogue magazine for examples already has not only an online website, but also publish video contents on YouTube, or publish digital magazines to Android and iPhone apps on smartphones and tablets, or holding worldwide fashion events. The thing is the business model seems not working as expected. And despite all these efforts, they still have to compete against their worst nightmare, Google and Facebook, which account for 70% of digital ad dollars, before coronavirus. And that means, the print media has lost not only to the two internet giants, but also to the internet as whole in general. So, it was worse before coronavirus, and it is now their worst situation, so-called, the tip of the iceberg. Print publishers are now being hit really hard. For example, in New Zealand, the Bauer Media Group decided in April to shut down all operations in New Zealand, and this giant company actually published many famous local magazines such as The Listener, Woman's Day, etc. Playboy magazine in the US has also decided to suspend their print publication indefinitely. Previously, people predicted the slow death of print magazine and newspaper industry. Now they seem to have changed their mind, and predict that this industry will not survive the contagion, due to the fact that many advertisers are even now pulling spend amid the pandemic. What many publishers seem to have done wrong, in my opinion, is the fact that they now have sped up the shift to online, believing that it will save them from bankruptcy. As I told you before, Vogue, for example, has done this, set up paywall on their website, publish digital video contents on YouTube, or publish digital magazine app on Android and iPhones. As the million views on YouTube might looks good, still, in the end of the day it is the revenue generated that matters a lot, and all they need in order to survive. Here, I will explain what makes us different than other digital publishing platforms such as Scribd, Izu, Magster, Yumpu, Zinio, Paper, iOS app, and so on. Don't get me wrong, these all so-called digital publishing platforms or apps are indeed good and great. You can upload your magazine in PDF and the automated process running behind the system will now process it to omni-channel platforms such as for displaying on desktop computers, on smartphones, or on iPads. And believe me, I have tried each one of those, and somehow it's been a painful journey using them. Have you ever thought that a magazine is actually a powerful expression of image and text combined? So not only the pictures must look good, but the text must also be readable. I don't want to zoom in and zoom out for whole my life, or waiting the PDF file to be completely downloaded for hours. A fashion magazines can often amount to more than 100 megs file size. And once the download is complete, then the page loading now experience is lagging. In my opinion, the effort of many print magazines to go digital seems wasted, due to the failures of existing publishing platforms in providing smooth user interface to readers, displaying readable contents, and delivering the speed in processing each magazine, newspaper page. It is nice to look good such as imitate a real-life physical magazine, but in the end of the day it is just unreadable and unenjoyable to readers. KlippingDB.com is different, and I have to make sure that it is truly different. We have indexed so far 1,000 magazines and newspapers from all around the world for demo and research purpose only, so I can show it to the world, hey, we think this is actually what people want. This is what should work. As we all can see, we at KlippingDB.com put the whole focus on large screen, which is mainly for desktop computers or laptops, and not on smartphones or tablets. Due to the natural size of smartphone and tablet physical device, which tends to be small, it is not suitable technology to make magazines readable. Since Google has revolutionized the way we do search on the web, then the existence of table of contents is a must, and thus, these whole table of contents can be indexed by search engines. This will of course enables readers to jump from link to link, from one content to another, without having to browse each page from the beginning to the end, on contrary to what people traditionally do while reading any physical print magazine or newspaper. Basically, that kind of assumption tends to be out of fashion, particularly to millennials, who want things get done instantly. Remember, when I told you about the disadvantage of PDF file format, huge file size which causes slow page loading in computer memory. In fact, the PDF file format was never designed to serve the purpose of being a digital magazine or newspaper comprising hundreds of pages with huge images. There is already such thing ready for this mission, which is the image file, e.g. JPG image file format itself. And it is very common for applying divide and conquer technique in many aspects in computer science, so we can simply extract the whole PDF file into many small-sized image files. Hence, combined with the pre-existing technique of table of contents indexing, every content will load fast. Plus, we can utilize the free cloud storage such as Imager or IMGBB, in order to have these all images cached for free. If we see the snapshot, we can also notice the user interface for reading each magazine page has been properly fitted, so there should be no need for readers to zoom in or zoom out anymore. And here for newspapers, if we see the snapshot, the user interface layout for reading each newspaper page has been properly fitted to full screen, so there should be no need for readers to zoom in or zoom out anymore. The only thing we still need to do is merely scrolling down or scrolling up on the web browser, which should be a child's play. 30 years ago, Tim Berners-Lee had very good idea and intention by inventing the Internet, and he knew, the only way to make it work is by making it free, allowing people to share the technology with each other. It may not make him the super rich guy on earth, but it has allowed life to transform from one era to another, from a traditional to a modern one. Print publishers have met the similar fate, as it is now time to decide whether they want to keep all the resources they have by themselves and face the death of magazines or newspapers, or are they willing to share those they have with everyone and be survival? Of course, in the perfect world, publishers would expect readers to pay for everything, and it shouldn't be matter, whether it is the latest magazine issued or it is a back-issue one. But unfortunately, without its free and open accessibility, Internet culture as we know it wouldn't exist. So, what is KlippingDB.com to readers? All is free to read the back issues of magazines and/or newspapers, if any. All is free to read free, not for sale, magazines or newspapers, or catalogs. And, what is KlippingDB.com to publishers? It doesn't really matter to us if you are big or small publisher, everyone is free to publish on our social newsstand platform. We researched and came to conclusion that the willingness to share is the key to survival for print media. If you can't share the latest edition of your magazine or newspaper, well, then at least, you can share the back issues which are still worthy to readers. So, what would the future look like according to our proposal? By the time the coronavirus is gone, the print magazines and newspapers will still be there. I promise. Their print advertisement revenue will now thrive again, as KlippingDB has acted as one of the omni-channels advertisers would desire, and what print publishers can and should offer. Many people will now read more and more digital magazines and newspapers, as reading them has now been made possible, literally. So, the battle against this other kind of epidemic which has been ongoing since the invention of the Internet will finally be over. Oh, one more thing, say goodbye to those people who always say print magazines are dying, would you?